Hello, fellow travel enthusiasts. Today, we're diving into something super important for seniors on Medicare who love to explore new places, understanding travel insurance. Now, let's start with a story about John and Mary, a retired couple from Florida. Now, they planned a dream vacation to Paris, and before leaving, they were wise and chose to buy travel insurance as Medicare's coverage abroad is limited. And unfortunately, John suffered a minor stroke while they were in France. But thanks to their travel insurance, they weren't overwhelmed with the medical cost, which included an emergency room visit and subsequent treatments, and none of which would have been covered by Medicare alone. So what exactly is travel insurance? It's a type of insurance that covers unexpected travel-related expenses. This can include medical emergencies, trip cancellations, lost luggage, and even flight delays. It's a must-have for travelers, especially those who may not have comprehensive health coverage abroad. And Medicare, it's the U.S. federal health insurance program primarily for people aged 65 and older. While it offers extensive coverage within the U.S., its international coverage is pretty limited. Now, this makes travel insurance an essential companion for seniors planning trips outside the country. Stick around as we delve into the nitty-gritty of what Medicare covers, what it doesn't, and why travel insurance is a game changer for worry-free globetrotting adventures. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more travel insurance insights. Got a question? Drop it in the comments below. What does Medicare cover when you travel? Let's explore what Medicare covers when you hit the road or fly across the seas. Well, Medicare provides comprehensive health care for seniors in the U.S. It's a different story when you travel inside the U.S. Good news here, Medicare generally covers you across all 50 states and U.S. territories. But remember, the specifics can vary, especially if you're using a Medicare Advantage plan. It's always best to check the details before you travel outside the U.S. Now, this is where it gets tricky. Medicare coverage outside the United States is pretty limited. There are a few exceptions though. Now let's say you're cruising on a ship within 6 hours of a US port. In that case, Medicare might cover your medical services. Another example is if you're traveling to Canada and the nearest hospital for emergency care is in Canada. Even if you're closer to the US, Medicare may cover you in these rare instances. But these are exceptions, not the rule. That's why understanding the limits of Medicare abroad is crucial. Medigap to the rescue. Here's something helpful. Medicare Supplement plans, also known as Medigap. Some of these plans offer coverage for international travel, and they can cover about 80% of billed charges for certain medically necessary emergency care outside the U.S. This coverage kicks in once you meet the annual deductible. These plans usually have a lifetime limit, so it's important to understand the specifics. Remember, while Medigap can extend your coverage overseas, it's still limited. It doesn't cover everything that travel insurance does, like trip cancellation or lost baggage. In our next segment, we'll dive into why travel insurance is particularly important for seniors on Medicare, covering the gaps that Medicare and even Medigap leave behind. Why is travel insurance important for seniors on Medicare? Travel insurance is a must-have for seniors on Medicare, especially when traveling abroad. Let's break down why it's so crucial. Medical emergencies abroad. Imagine you're enjoying a leisurely stroll through the streets of Rome when suddenly you experience chest pains and need immediate medical attention. Or picture yourself hiking in the Canadian Rockies and you slip, resulting in a fractured leg. In such cases, the cost without travel insurance can be astronomical. Emergency medical care, especially in countries with high healthcare costs, can quickly run into thousands of dollars. Plus, there's the cost of any follow-up care or rehabilitation. Limitations of Medicare in emergencies. Medicare's coverage for emergency transportation and repatriation, getting you back to the U.S. after a medical emergency, is virtually non-existent abroad. Now, this is where travel insurance and something called trip-side assistance becomes indispensable. Emergency transportation. If you need and emergency medical evacuation. Travel insurance can cover the cost of transportation to the nearest hospital or medical facility. And without this coverage, you could be facing bills upward of $50,000 to $100,000, depending on the location and severity of the emergency. Repatriation. In severe cases, if you need to be transported back to the United States for treatment, the cost without insurance can be overwhelming. Travel insurance can cover these expenses, ensuring you get the care you need without crippling financial burdens. Tripside assistance is a travel safety feature that's similar to roadside assistance, but for international trips. It's a 24/7 crisis response service that stands ready for you if faced with medical issues, natural disasters, or security threats like violent crimes, kidnappings for ransom, terrorism incidents, or even situations like blackmail or wrongful detention. A Tripside assistance service stands ready to evacuate you from these risks, along with providing useful concierge services for lost travel document support, legal referrals, and many more. Additional coverage benefits. Travel insurance plans often include benefits that go beyond what Medicare offers, covering things such as trip cancellation. So if you have to cancel your trip last minute due to a medical emergency, travel insurance can reimburse your non-refundable trip expenses. Lost baggage. If your baggage gets lost or stolen, travel insurance can compensate you for your belongings. Travel delays. If your trip gets delayed due to weather or other unforeseen circumstances, travel insurance can cover additional lodging and meal expenses. Here's a few real-world scenarios that help illustrate what we've talked about. John's heart scare in Italy. John, a 70-year-old on Medicare, had a minor heart attack while vacationing in Italy. His hospital stay racked up a bill of $20,000, none of which was covered by Medicare. Fortunately, his travel insurance covered the medical expenses. Emma's hiking accident in Canada. Emma, a 65-year-old avid hiker, fractured her ankle in the Canadian wilderness. Her travel insurance covered the cost of a helicopter evacuation, which otherwise would have cost her over $30,000. Susan's medical emergency on a cruise. Imagine Susan, a 72-year-old Medicare recipient, on a dream cruise to the Caribbean. On the fourth day, she suffers a severe asthma attack. The ship's medical center stabilizes her, but she needs specialized care. The nearest hospital is in the Bahamas. Now here's where it gets tricky with Medicare. Because Susan is in international waters, her Medicare coverage doesn't apply. The cruise's medical services cost her $2,000, and the treatment in the Bahamas adds another $8,000 to her bills. Fortunately, Susan had purchased travel insurance with medical coverage before her trip. Her travel insurance steps in to cover these unexpected medical expenses, saving her from a hefty financial burden. And these examples highlight why travel insurance is so important for seniors on Medicare. It's not just about having coverage. It's about having the right coverage for those unexpected, costly situations that can arise while traveling abroad. Next, we'll discuss how to choose the right travel insurance plan to complement your Medicare package, ensuring you're fully prepared for your next adventure. Choosing the right travel insurance plan. Now, here are some considerations and tips for choosing the right travel insurance plan if you're a senior on Medicare. Understanding coverage limits. Coverage limits are the maximum amounts an insurance company will pay for specific losses, services, or benefits. For example, a policy might have a $100,000 limit on medical expenses and a $250,000 limit for emergency evacuation. Higher coverage limits are particularly important for seniors due to potentially greater medical needs and the higher costs of medical care in foreign countries. Pre-existing conditions coverage. Pre-existing conditions are any medical condition that existed before the insurance policy start date. Coverage for these conditions is crucial for seniors as they are more likely to have ongoing health issues. Keep look-back periods in mind as well. This is the time frame insurers use to determine whether a condition is pre-existing. Typically, this period can range between 60 and 180 days before purchasing the policy. Some travel insurance plans offer waivers for pre-existing conditions, meaning they'll cover the costs related to those conditions under certain circumstances. And this feature is often a top consideration for senior travelers. We have several videos on pre-existing conditions, all of which are linked in the video description. Check those out for more on this important topic. Medicare and cruises. When selecting a travel insurance plan as a senior on Medicare, especially for cruise travel, it's important to understand how Medicare works in this context and what additional coverage you might need. Medicare coverage on cruise ships. Medicare may cover medically necessary care on a cruise ship if specific conditions are met. The ship is in U.S. waters or within 6 hours of a U.S. port. The care is medically necessary. The doctor is legally authorized to provide medical services aboard a cruise ship. However, if the cruise ship is more than 6 hours from a U.S. port, Medicare generally will not cover the care, even in emergencies. Considerations for travel insurance for cruisers. Given Medicare's limited coverage on cruises, especially in international waters, it's crucial to understand additional travel insurance. Look for travel insurance that provides comprehensive coverage for medical care on cruises, including scenarios where Medicare coverage may not apply. Ensure the policy covers emergency medical evacuation, which can be crucial if you need to be transported to a hospital from a cruise ship. Consider plans that include coverage for trip cancellations, trip interruptions, and other potential issues specific to cruise travel. By understanding Medicare's limitations on cruises and choosing a travel insurance plan that fills these gaps, seniors can ensure they are well protected during their cruise adventures. G1G and our ITERA tool. ITERA, Intelligent Travel Insurance Risk Assessment, is an AI-powered tool developed by us. It analyzes a traveler's details and matches them with the most suitable travel insurance plan, considering factors like destination, duration, and specific health needs. For seniors on Medicare, ITERA can be especially beneficial as it takes into account age-related health concerns and pre-existing conditions, ensuring that travelers get a plan that offers comprehensive coverage, including for scenarios that Medicare may not cover. ITERA offers a personalized approach to travel insurance, making the process of finding the right plan more straightforward and tailored to individual requirements. When choosing a travel insurance plan, seniors on Medicare should pay close attention to coverage limits, especially for medical expenses and emergency services. Understanding the intricacies of coverage for pre-existing conditions is paramount. Tools like G1G's ITERA can significantly aid in this process by providing customized insurance solutions that cater to the specific needs of senior travelers, ensuring comprehensive coverage during their travels. When to buy travel insurance. Golden rule is to purchase travel insurance soon after booking your trip. This timing ensures maximum coverage, including for any pre-existing conditions. Certain benefits, like cancel for any reason, we call CFAR coverage, may require purchasing within a set time after making your initial trip deposit. Now let's talk about two things in particular. Look back period for pre-existing conditions. The look back period is a time frame, usually 60 to 180 days, before purchasing the policy, during which insurers check for any medical issues that could be considered pre-existing. Buying insurance soon after booking your trip can ensure that recent health conditions are not classified as pre-existing, thus potentially covered. Scenarios benefiting from CFAR coverage. CFAR, or cancel for any reason coverage, allows you to cancel your trip for any reason not typically covered by standard insurance, like fear of traveling or changing your mind. Now, here's an example scenario. If there's a sudden spike in health risks at your destination, like a new COVID-19 outbreak, but no official travel advisory, CFAR coverage would allow you to cancel and get a partial refund. Here's another scenario. If you need to cancel because of a non-medical personal situation, like a significant family event, CFAR coverage would apply when regular travel insurance wouldn't. Purchasing travel insurance soon after booking can maximize your coverage benefits for your trip. This approach is particularly beneficial for seniors who may have recent changes in health status or need the flexibility CFAR coverage offers. Frequently asked questions. To sum up and recap what we've covered, let's take a look at a few of our most asked questions around the web about travel insurance and Medicare. Remember, if you have any additional questions, drop them in the comments below. Can you bundle travel insurance with Medicare? While you can't technically bundle travel insurance with Medicare, having both can provide a comprehensive safety net for seniors traveling abroad. Medicare, especially when traveling outside the U.S., has its limitations. It generally doesn't cover international health care, emergency transportation, or repatriation costs. Travel insurance complements Medicare by covering these gaps. It provides benefits like emergency medical expenses abroad, trip cancellation, lost luggage, and travel delays. This additional coverage ensures that seniors are protected against a range of unforeseen travel-related issues that Medicare doesn't cover. Together, Medicare and travel insurance provide a more robust safety net, addressing a wider range of potential risks and expenses associated with travel, both domestically and internationally. Do Medicare Supplement plans cover foreign travel? For Medicare beneficiaries looking to explore beyond the borders of the United States, understanding the coverage provided by Medicare Supplement plans, often referred to as Medigap, is essential. A common inquiry among travelers is, do Medicare Supplement plans cover foreign travel? This question is particularly relevant for those seeking to ensure that they have adequate health coverage while traveling internationally, understanding Medigap coverage for foreign travel. Medicare Supplement plans are designed to fill the gaps in Original Medicare, Parts A and B. While Original Medicare provides comprehensive health coverage within the United States, it offers very limited coverage for international travel. However, some Medigap plans do include provisions for emergency healthcare services received outside of the U.S., providing an additional layer of protection for travelers. Key features of foreign travel emergency coverage. Plans offering coverage. Not all Medigap plans include foreign travel emergency coverage. As of the latest guidelines, plans C, D, F, G, M, and N provide 80% coverage of the billed charges for certain medically necessary emergency care outside the U.S. after you meet a $250 deductible. Coverage limit. The lifetime limit for foreign travel emergency coverage under Medigap plans is $50,000, an important consideration for those planning extended stays or frequent trips abroad. Time limit. Coverage is typically limited to the first 60 days of any trip abroad, making it crucial for travelers to understand the timing of their coverage in relation to their travel plans. Emergency situations only. It's important to note that this coverage is intended for emergency medical care. Routine healthcare or non-emergency services received outside the U.S. are not covered under Medigap foreign travel emergency benefits. Evaluating the need for additional travel insurance. While Medigap plans can provide valuable coverage for emergencies during foreign travel, beneficiaries should carefully consider their specific health and travel needs. In some cases, purchasing additional travel insurance may be advisable to cover gaps not addressed by Medigap, such as medical evacuation to the United States, which can be costly and is not fully covered under Medigap plans, non-emergency medical care abroad, trip cancellation, interruption, and delay coverage, lost luggage, and personal effects protection. What Medicare plans cover foreign travel? When planning a journey abroad, Medicare beneficiaries often wonder about their health coverage options outside the United States. What Medicare plans cover foreign travel is a crucial question for those looking to enjoy international travel without worrying about unexpected medical expenses. Original Medicare and foreign travel coverage. Original Medicare, comprising Part A, hospital insurance, and Part B, medical insurance, offers very limited coverage for healthcare services outside the United States. Coverage is generally restricted to rare circumstances, such as receiving care in a Canadian hospital while traveling between Alaska and another state. For the vast majority of international travel, original Medicare beneficiaries are not covered. Medicare Supplement plans, Medigap, with foreign travel emergency coverage. For broader coverage during foreign travel, Medicare beneficiaries can consider Medicare Supplement insurance, Medigap. Certain Medigap plans include foreign travel emergency healthcare coverage, which can be a lifeline for those traveling abroad. Here's what you need to know. Eligible plans. Medigap plans C, D, F, G, M, and N offer foreign travel emergency coverage. It's important to note that plan availability can vary by state, and not all plans are available to new Medicare enrollees. Coverage details. These Medigap plans typically cover 80% of the billed charges for certain medically necessary emergency care outside the U.S., and this is after a $250 annual deductible. Now, the lifetime limit for foreign travel emergency coverage is $50,000. That's a critical factor to consider in your travel insurance decision. Time limitations. Coverage is generally effective during the first 60 days of your trip, making it suitable for short-term travel. Medicare Advantage plans and international coverage. Medicare Advantage, or Part C plans, are offered by private insurance companies and provide an alternative to original Medicare. Some Medicare Advantage plans may offer coverage for healthcare services received outside the United States, including emergency and sometimes non-emergency care. Coverage and rules vary significantly between plans, so it is essential to review the specifics of your plan before traveling. Evaluate the need for additional travel insurance. While some Medigap and Medicare Advantage plans provide emergency health coverage abroad, beneficiaries should assess their coverage gaps and consider additional travel insurance. Comprehensive travel insurance policies can offer broader protection, including medical evacuation, trip cancellation, and lost luggage coverage, areas not covered typically by Medicare plans. Key takeaways for Medicare beneficiaries planning international travel. Original Medicare offers limited foreign travel health coverage. Certain Medigap plans include emergency foreign travel coverage. Some Medicare Advantage plans may provide international health coverage. Review your Medicare plan's specifics and consider additional travel insurance for comprehensive protection. Understanding the coverage options available through Medicare plans for foreign travel is essential for any beneficiary planning to travel abroad. By considering the coverage provided by Medigap and Medicare Advantage plans, along with the potential need for additional travel insurance, Medicare beneficiaries can ensure they're well prepared for their international travels. Closing thoughts. By understanding the coverage gaps in Medicare and selecting the right travel insurance, you can ensure your dream vacation doesn't turn into a financial nightmare. Remember, the best defense is being well-informed and prepared. Also, as we wrap up our discussion on travel insurance and Medicare, I invite you to join the conversation. Share your experiences, your tips, or any questions that you might have about navigating travel insurance with Medicare in the comments below. Your insights could be invaluable to fellow travelers, and together, we can build a community that supports and educates one another on these important topics. Remember, every journey is unique, and learning from each other's experiences can make our travel planning more informed and comprehensive. So let's keep the discussion going and help each other travel smarter and safer. Disclaimer: We are a travel tech company that makes a profit when you buy travel insurance plans from us. So I want to make that clear. However, we verify and vet all of the companies and plans that we offer. Remember, this video is meant to serve as general educational information. Nothing here is medical advice. Always check plan documentations for specific benefit definitions, coverage amounts, exclusions, and limitations.